right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Spreading joy instead of writing tickets.
Hopefully that'll help you out a little bit.
The police department giving new meaning to having a blue Christmas.
Arctic chill eases. The dramatic change happening in time for the weekend.
Our top story, a new holiday experience back open for business, just days after a series of merry mishaps.
It has ruined my holidays.
Tonight was the first night for the Jingle holiday attraction in O'Fallon, Missouri since an opening weekend marred by complaints. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Within the last 30 minutes, the gates closed for the night. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski just got back to the studio after talking with some disappointed customers, Laura.
Mike and Kelly, I also got some information about a half an hour ago from the Attorney General who's looking into Jingle. His office has received 33 complaints, but says safety issues are being addressed, and the office says it will continue to do spot checks on the holiday pop-up.
Kelly Williams says she went to opening night of Jingle in O'Fallon looking to kick off the Christmas season.
The first thing we did was we walked up to the tubing section, and we went, they put us in a tube, started us down.
The experience changed her life, and not in a good way.
As I was going down, my foot hit the rail, and it just snapped.
Williams says there weren't any EMTs to help her, and she didn't want to leave in an ambulance, so her friend drove her to the hospital where she found out she broke her ankle.
We're going to have to do surgery. We'll put a rod in one side and plates and screws on the other.
She's one of several people who broke a bone at the event, is now unable to work, and as an avid cyclist can no longer do what she loves.
It has ruined my holidays, so I won't be, I won't be traveling anywhere or anything. So I'm just sitting with my foot elevated.
For Maggie Nays and her family, it didn't live up to their expectations, particularly the ice skating rink.
We see lights, but there's no trail. And we do find the ice rink that was about the size of a swimming pool that you would have in your backyard that was completely full.
The company said the trail portion was stuck in customs. Nays says it felt like false advertising. It was expensive, and there were still hazards outside of the attractions.
And it was unsafe, and we were really having to just shuffle through to walk through this experience because of the conditions of the floor.
Okay. People who went Thursday night said it was all right. Some of them enjoyed it and didn't get hurt, but there were still slick spots, and some things still didn't live up to expectations.
I hope for the sake of what has happened so far that they can make those changes so that it is a great experience for everybody.
I reached out to Jingle, but they did not provide a comment other than they were open tonight. Nays says she received an email saying anyone who went opening weekend can get a refund for ice skating tickets and a free general admission ticket to go back another day. Kelly.
Thank you, Laura. A frigid night out in O'Fallon and across St. Louis. Temperatures are dropping into the teens again. Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking a gradual weekend warm-up, though.
Yeah, it is going to be a whole different ballgame going into the weekend. In fact, you've noticed the difference this evening. Temperatures not plummeting like they did late last night during the overnight hours, and you don't have the wind out there at this point. That's good news because it means we're not dealing with big wind chill problems. We're still at 20 degrees in St. Louis. We did drop back to about 19. Some of the outlying areas here away from town are generally in the upper teens, but the temperatures are not dropping much tonight. We're going to hold nearly steady. And tomorrow morning, the big news here is that the winds have slackened. We're fairly quiet. If anything, we're starting that very light south to southwest wind overnight. We hold in the teens, and we think tomorrow morning we'll have a pretty quick jump temperature-wise across the St. Louis area. So there are more changes ahead. It's bright and not as cold on Friday, much warmer this weekend, and most of the weekend is dry. Perhaps not all, most. More on that in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. Tonight, police are looking for the robber who pulled a gun on the 13-year-old boy in South St. Louis and stole his father's car.
Robert Townsend went to the Gravois Park area where neighbors are now furious.
It was supposed to be an uneventful moment. St. Louis police say around 8:30 Wednesday night, a dad who lives on Nebraska in Gravois Park asked his 13-year-old son to dash outside to get some belongings from their car. The boy suddenly came face to face with a man armed with a gun.
I'm stunned. I don't want anything to happen to any kid.
Police say the robber pointed the gun at the 7th grade boy and demanded the dad's black Mazda M3 that was parked outside the family's South City home. The boy complied.
Somebody's child could have been hurt for something stupid as a materialistic car.
An outraged Yvonne Peoples is relieved her young neighbor was not hurt.
He's probably still terrified, and he's going to have long-term trauma just because he's not going to probably be even scared to come outside. And kids shouldn't have to feel unsafe.
Investigators say at the time of the cold-hearted crime, the robber wore a ski mask and all black clothing. Police say after the guy pulled the gun on the kid, he came down this alley, and then 3 other men hopped in the car. All 4 then took off from this area in the dad's vehicle. This neighborhood is in older woman Alicia Sagnier's 7th ward. She wasn't available to talk on camera, but said the area has seen crime, but is usually quiet. However, some neighbors said gunshots are too frequent, and they'd like to see more officers patrolling here.
We all are supposed to be able to walk up and down the street without fear of something happening to us.
That from a concerned mom who wants the robber and his accomplices off the streets.
I'm praying because I don't need them out here.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police are also still looking for the man's car. They ask anyone with information to call St. Louis Police or Crime Stoppers, 866-371-TIPS.
About an hour ago, visitation wrapped up at a CBC high school for a hockey player killed by a stray bullet on the highway. A funeral mass for 16-year-old Colin Brown will be celebrated tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Cathedral Basilica. You can watch it live on the 5+ streaming app and on KSDK.com. The teen was hit by a stray bullet along I-55 near Loughborough around 10:30 p.m. on November 23rd. His dad was driving him home from his hockey game. He died 4 days later. Crime Stoppers is now offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. You can leave an anonymous tip at 866-371-TIPS.
Right now, St. Louis police are looking for the driver who hit a mother and daughter in North City and drove off. Tonight, both are being treated in the hospital. Both are expected to be okay. They were hit while walking to their bus stop near Union and St. Louis Avenue around 6 this morning. There's no crosswalk at the intersection. Police say 8 crashes have happened there in the past year. Right now, investigators on both sides of the bi-state are trying to track down suspects involved in multiple ATM thefts. The crimes happening in the span of 3 hours this morning. Police say the first robbery took place at a 7-Eleven in Hazelwood around 4 a.m. About 3 hours later, Brink's armor truck employees were robbed at the Regions Bank on Madison Avenue. There was also a third ATM stolen in Ladue that ended after a pursuit in Town and Country, but investigators say the suspect in that case was having a mental health crisis.
Tonight, the family of a Ferguson police officer, Travis Brown, is updating us on his recovery. Brown suffered a traumatic head injury when he was tackled by a protester back in August. After 3 months in the ICU, he was moved to a rehab facility in Atlanta about 3 weeks ago. Brown recently celebrated his 37th birthday, and his family says he's making daily improvements, and they're celebrating strides like his ability to brush his teeth. New tonight, some drivers in Florissant are in for a huge surprise when they see flashing red and blue lights pull up behind them.
As 5 on your side's Brent Solomon shows us how an act of holiday goodwill is proving some encounters with officers can actually be a good experience.
Cruising along New Florissant Road when all of a sudden, flashing red and blue lights.
Hey there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Officer Michael, Florissant Police Department.
It's a routine traffic stop, and this officer has a job to do.
The reason for the stop is I was just going to let you know you got a brake light out.
Okay.
When he could give the driver a ticket, he's taking a different route.
I'm just going to cut you a warning on that. I want to be able to be the first one to offer you a $100 gift card for our Summons of Joy program.
Thank you.
Be out a little bit.
I really needed that. Thank you, sir.
You betcha, absolutely.
All month long, Florissant police are giving out what they call a Summons of Joy to random drivers with minor traffic infractions. Instead of a ticket, the penalty is a $100 gift card to Walmart or Sam's Club. Donations from the North County churches uniting for racial harmony and justice make it possible.
I didn't see my family in like 3 years, and so I went down to Nashville to see them for Thanksgiving, and I had to miss a week of work, so this really helps.
Anytime we have an interaction that is positive with a police officer, it's memorable, right?
Florissant police have been doing this for 10 years now. They tell me each year gets even better.
You heard his story. He began to tear up. He said he really could use this. And that right there is gut-wrenching for these officers out here, because we're out here playing Santa. He's got an extra $100 in his pocket now. It's going to help him.
Are you going to get that tail light fixed?
Absolutely. Probably do that tomorrow. I actually have the day off, so.
He says he's wasting no time. He's going to get fixed tomorrow.
You know, we see that story every year,
Yeah.
and I just love it. And also, we were talking off camera about the secret Santas that go into the Goodwill
Yep.
or the
Yep.
Walmarts, and people in need get money during
Yeah.
Christmas
It's so
time. That's what's
true.
great about the holiday season.
And you don't know what people are going
That's
through.
true.
You
Right.
know?
That's exactly
So
true.
for so many people, it comes at just the right time.
That the police group says they've been doing this for 10 years now. They've been able to give away close to $50,000
Oh, that's great.
in those gift cards. They do it every year.
And what a surprise when
Yep.
the police light pull,
Yep.
up behind you.
It's a good
You're-
thing.
you're not looking forward to that.
All right, thanks, Brent. It is the end of the road for a long-time 4th of July tradition in St. Louis. America's Birthday Parade, formerly the Veiled Prophet Parade, is ending after more than 140 years. Organizers are instead planning another parade for fall. No specifics were given, and as far as Fair St. Louis, organizers are planning a 2-day celebration on the Arch grounds, ending with a bigger-than-ever fireworks spectacular. Mayor Tashara Jones, the spokesperson, responded tonight with a statement saying, quote, "We are encouraged to hear about a new fall parade next year and will continue to support any future activations that draw residents and visitors to the beautiful city of St. Louis."
Justice for Tyree.
Ain't no money gonna solve this problem.
Tonight, the multi-million-dollar ruling in Florida for the family of a St. Louis teen killed on a thrill ride. Protecting lives in the wake of tragedy.
We can't just build bunkers everywhere.
Tonight, the I-Team looks into major moves the state of Illinois is making to keep workers safe during severe weather.
Severe weather is not in our forecast anytime soon, but some rain is before the weekend is over. We're timing out the rain and warmer weekend temperatures.
Tonight, we're waiting to hear if a Missouri judge will allow Planned Parenthood to start providing abortions tomorrow. Amendment 3 went into effect today. Last month, voters approved the ballot initiative restoring abortion rights in Missouri. However, it does not override state law. A hearing was held yesterday in Planned Parenthood's efforts to remove those state restrictions. The judge has yet to announce a decision.
Just hours ago, a Florida jury awarded the mother and father of a St. Louis County teen who fell to his death on an amusement park ride $155 million each. 14-year-old Tyrese Sampson was in Orlando for spring break in 2022 when he slipped from his harness on the free fall drop tower ride. An investigation found Sampson far exceeded the recommended weight limit, and 2 seats had been retrofitted for the larger riders. The teen's father, mother, and brother testified in court today.
I see why any kid want to come here and have fun, but why my child got to be the one? Ain't no money gonna solve this problem. It ain't gonna solve this problem. You're putting a Band-Aid on it, maybe, but it ain't solve the problem. Every day I got to wake up and I still can't see them.
The $310 million ruling is against the German manufacturer of the ride. The family previously settled with the owners of the amusement park and the ride's owner. It was taken down last year.
Tonight, Illinois is poised to take the lead in storm shelter safety for warehouses. It comes nearly 3 years after a deadly tornado tore through an Amazon warehouse at Edwardsville, killing 6 people. State leaders saying climate change is no longer up for debate.
Tonight, the I-Team's Paula Vassan looks into a new task force making bold recommendations to protect lives.
These images reignited a fierce debate over storm shelters. A deadly tornado striking nearly 3 years ago reduced a massive warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois to rubble. The disaster left families shattered and a community in mourning, forcing state lawmakers to confront the urgent need for action.
I think Illinois would really be a leader, especially in the Midwest.
Illinois State Representative Katie Stewart, whose district includes Edwardsville, has been leading the charge to make storm shelters mandatory in large warehouses. Stewart says the evidence is clear. Climate change is increasing the frequency and severity of extreme weather events.
And we can't deny the fact that our climate is changing, and we have to take steps to protect ourselves because of that.
A state task force is now calling for mandatory tornado shelters in Illinois warehouses. Supporters say the recommendations, which also include emergency plans and inspector certifications, are long overdue as extreme weather worsens. Critics argue the added cost could drive businesses out of the state, but the push for stronger protections is gaining momentum.
We can't just build bunkers everywhere. I think that's kind of one extreme, but the other extreme is to not do anything. And I'm glad that we are getting to something in the middle.
For families who lost loved ones in Edwardsville, this push is personal. It's a chance to honor those who died and ensure others won't face the same fate.
While the task force's recommendations are not yet finalized, they're expected to be presented to the Illinois General Assembly by early next year. From there, the fight for stronger protections continues. For the I-Team, Paula Bassan, 5 on your side.
If you have a tip for the I-Team, leave Paula a voicemail at 314-444-5231. You can also email her directly at paula@ksdk.com, and all calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
A special bedtime nightcap tonight for the animals at the Humane Society of Missouri.
Nestled up snug in his armchair.
About 60 children in their holiday PJs read their favorite Christmas and Hanukkah stories to animals with a slight twist by candlelight. Deck the Howls is a holiday tradition at the Humane Society as part of its Shelter Buddies reading program. It's a great lesson about the spirit of giving back for the kids and benefits the dogs by helping them to socialize with humans as they are awaiting forever homes.
We believe children are innately empathetic towards animals, but to try to nurture that and give them opportunities to connect with animals, and the reading program is a great way to do that.
Other activities included decorating cookies for the dogs, making snow globes, and more. This year's event was sold out, and officials say a dog or two are often adopted.
Clever name.
Yes, isn't that cute?
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather impact forecast, and there is a warm-up coming. Right,
yes,
Scott?
yes. This weekend will be so much different than what we dealt with this morning. Wind chills near zero early this morning. You know, it was a gusty morning for those early flights out of Lambert. Tomorrow it's cold, but it'll be different. And you already have planes at the gates this evening for those early morning flights tomorrow. That's a good thing. 14 was the low in Alton, 17 in Shiloh, Pacific was 17. These numbers you see here pretty much uniform across the area because this morning Arctic air not only blanketed all of us, but we had those winds keeping things stirred up. Now we'll start to see a few differences as we head through the overnight hours. Warrenton's our cold spot at 13. Effingham's not too far behind at 14. Mount Vernon's 13. We don't expect temperatures to drop much more than where they are now. And your wind chills in general pretty close to the actual temperature as the winds have slackened across the area. Right now, a very light north to northwest wind at 3 miles per hour. Lambert's at 20 degrees. The air's still very dry though. 8 is our dew point, and you're saying it was not 34 this afternoon. You are correct. 34 was just after midnight. The daytime high was 26. Tonight, temperatures holding about steady. Yes, it's still frigid, but the wind's much lighter overnight and not really an issue heading out the door tomorrow morning. Wind chills will be very similar to the air temperature, and tomorrow afternoon, we're back into the upper 30s. So here's a look at what's going on. For us, it's pretty quiet. Outside of a few stray high clouds here and there, the focus has been around the Great Lakes for the snow squalls there. Then we look to the southwest, going back down into Texas, moisture's gathering. That becomes our next weather system. So morning wind chills are mostly in the double digits early Friday. As we go through the day, we expect temperatures to get back into the upper 30s. More sun, less wind. It's bright and warmer on Saturday into the 50s. Sunday, we're in the mid to upper 50s. Over the weekend, we're tracking the system that's mainly a southern storm track. It'll keep most of the rain to our south. Saturday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, but Sunday, clouds start to increase. And by later Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, we may see some rain in the area. More likely that we would see that off to the southeast of St. Louis as a likelihood, and then maybe getting into the metro area as we head towards dark. And after that, Monday and Tuesday, the rain chances drop off. But look at the temperature adjustment here for the weekend. What a shock to the system after feeling like it was close to zero this morning. Your afternoon temperatures may nudge 60 degrees as we head into Sunday afternoon.
And we had snow
We're just wild.
last Sunday.
We're just swinging all over.
Yeah, we
the
really
place.
are. It's a roller coaster ride.
All right, thanks, Scott. Here's Corey with sports.
Well, it's a late night for Blues hockey and SLU basketball, and both teams are in the middle of entertaining battles out west. Sports is up after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Jim Montgomery has been head coach of the St. Louis Blues for 4 games coming into tonight. The Blues collected 7 of 8 possible points in those games. Whatever the message has been, it has been working. And Monty tried to get the message working again tonight in Calgary. Montgomery's club continues to get healthier too. Pavel Buchnevich back in the lineup tonight. Blues on the power play in the first, and Zach Bolduc does his best Brett Hull impersonation. Bang! 1-0 Blues on an absolute thing of beauty. Look at him go down to one knee on that. About 2 minutes later, here comes Robert Thomas. He fires one off the goal post. That goes in. It's 2-0. Flames are tough at home, though. They wouldn't go away easy. They make it 2-1 in the first. Then they go on to tie it up in the second on this goal from Matt Coronado. But in the third, welcome back Bucci. Pavel Buchnevich gonna jam one in for the go-ahead goal off the rebound. Flames have tied it again, though. It is currently 3-3 in the third period. In just 26 days, the Blues are headed back outside. Here's a taste of what the scene will look like for the Note at Wrigley Field against the Blackhawks in the Winter Classic. They are really embracing that Ivy theme this year. Also today, Chicago fired its head coach. So both teams will be on their second coach of the season once the Winter Classic arrives on New Year's Eve. Josh Schertz and SLU out on the West Coast tonight for a game against quality San Francisco. Bills in the hole early. They try to dig out of it. Robbie Avila, that's good to go. Gibson Jimerson, this is good from deep for 3. Then it's going to be Avila showing off his passing skills. He finds Isaiah Swope streaking to the basket for 2. And right before the half, Amari McCautry gets a 3 to fall. Billikens cut it to 4 at the half, but right now, San Francisco has been able to widen that lead a bit in the second half. The high school football season comes to an end tomorrow in Columbia. We'll have 3 local teams in action. DeSmet takes on Nixa in the nightcap, and Luther North faces Festus to begin the day. Should be quite a battle in Class 4. Led by former Mizzou tight end A.J. Ofadale, the Festus Tigers are in the state championship for the first time ever. They even canceled school tomorrow. Festus will have to beat the dominant force that is Luther North to win it all, though, and Coach knows what kind of challenge that'll be.
You could make the argument, I know I could make a really strong argument that Luther North is the best team in the state regardless of class. They played in Alabama, played one of the top teams in Alabama. They played Cardinal Ritter, beat Cardinal Ritter, which at the time I think most of us felt like Cardinal Ritter's probably the best team in the state regardless of class. They pulled that one off. So, you know, they have the resume, they have the experience, they're confident, so they're everything that's they've been advertised to be.
The St. Louis area is still buzzing from signing day on Wednesday. I was out in Edwardsville last night where Clayton Lakatos to Southern Illinois and Yosei Epinesa to Iowa were the final signings of the evening. The youngest Epinesa is following those family footsteps to Hawkeye country. His dad played there, his older brothers played there, and now the top recruit in the entire state of Illinois is carrying on that legacy.
I'm just super relieved to just get out of like all the recruiting because it's craziness. It's a lot of stress, a lot of craziness, all coming at you at one time while dealing with school and all these other different things. And so it's just a big relief on me to finally be done and just say Iowa's my home. It's just a big thing for me that I'm able to continue the legacy and just keep going on what everyone started, when my dad started and the people before, you know.
National Signing Day yesterday, still one of my favorite days of the whole year. Yeah. These kids work so hard for this. They have their whole families. Just a great moment.
The kids do and the parents do
Absolutely.
as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Corey. A Christmas decoration that may remind you of the 4th of July. One man's holiday display that's worth a major award.
We want to remind you that 5 on Your Side is once again partnering with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the Little Wishes campaign. We still have more than 2,500 holiday wishes to grant for children who are impacted by foster care. If you'd like to help, just go to ksdk.com/Little Wishes.
3, 2, 1.
Just hours ago, President Joe Biden lit the national Christmas tree on the Ellipse. President Calvin Coolidge lit the first national Christmas tree back in 1923. Missouri Governor Mike Parson will light the governor's mansion Christmas tree tomorrow night.
A Florida man's holiday display is getting major props for using a supersized version of an iconic prop from a holiday film. he constructed a 20-foot-tall leg lamp from A Christmas Story. There's even a life-size Ralphie wearing pink bunny pajamas, along with a sign that quotes the old man's famous line, "Fragile! Must be Italian." And Scott has a final check of the
You know,
forecast.
you think maybe that violates some subdivision rule or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe.
You think? All right, weather-wise tomorrow morning, not as cold for us in St. Louis, but still cold. Temperatures in the teens to around 20, but going back into the upper 30s tomorrow afternoon, and it gets even warmer into the weekend. We are dry for most of the weekend. Later on Sunday into Sunday night, the rain chances ramp up a little bit, but back into the mid to upper 50s by Sunday afternoon.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis, and that starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.